The alien's claws scraped against the cold metal floor of the derelict space station, her grotesque form emerging from the shadows like a nightmare birthed from the void. But when our eyes met, I didn't scream. I didn't run. I just stood there, frozen in the dim emergency lights, wondering if this was the end or the beginning of something far worse. My name is Dr. Elias Thorne, and I'd spent the last 5 years chasing ghosts through the stars. The Orion Drift was supposed to be a graveyard of forgotten tech, a cluster of abandoned outposts orbiting a dying red giant. Humanity had pushed too far, too fast, colonizing worlds we barely understood, and stations like this one, Echelon 9, were the casualties. I'd come here alone. My shuttle's AI, the only company scavenging for relics that could rewrite our understanding of faster-than-light travel. But nothing prepared me for her. She was massive, easily twice my height, her body a twisted amalgamation of chitinous plates and writhing tentacles that pulsed with an unnatural bioluminescence. Her face, if you could call it that, was a maw of jagged teeth framed by eyes that glowed like embers in a forge. Acidic drool hissed as it hit the grating beneath her, eating through the rust. I should have been terrified. Any sane person would have. But I'd seen horrors before. The vacuum-claiming friends in explosive decompressions, planets cracking under orbital bombardments during the border wars. This was just another unknown. What happened next defied everything I knew about First Contact. She tilted her head, those fiery eyes narrowing as if assessing me. A low rumble emanated from her throat, not a growl, but something almost inquisitive. I raised my hands slowly, palms out, the universal gesture of peace or surrender. "I'm not here to hurt you," I whispered, my voice echoing in the empty corridor. Her tentacles quivered, and then, impossibly, she spoke. Not in words, but, in my mind, a telepathic surge that hit like a wave crashing over me. "Human, why do you not flee? My form is designed to evoke terror." I blinked, the intrusion jarring but not painful. "Because fear is a choice," I replied aloud, though I sensed she could hear my thoughts too. "And I've chosen curiosity instead." That was the moment everything changed. But I had no idea how deep the rabbit hole went. We stood there in the flickering light, the station's life support systems groaning like a wounded beast. Echelon 9 had been offline for decades. Its crew vanished without a trace during the Great Expansion. Rumors spoke of alien incursions, but no evidence ever surfaced. Now, here she was, proof incarnate. I lowered my hands, taking a cautious step forward. Her body shifted, plates clicking like armor readjusting. Up close, I could see the scars, burn marks from energy weapons, gashes that had healed into twisted ridges. She'd been in battles, survived things that would pulverize a human. "You are different," her voice echoed in my skull. "Most of your kind recoil, attack, or perish. You observe." "I'm a scientist," I said, forcing a steady tone. "Observation is my job. Who are you? What are you doing here?" A pause, then a flood of images assaulted my mind. Vast nebulae swirling with colors unseen by human eyes, crystalline cities floating in gas giants, wars between stars that span millennia. She was from the Veil, a region of space we'd only glimpsed through telescopes. Home to the Zerath, a species we'd dismissed as myth. But she wasn't just any Zerath. She was an exile, hunted by her own for defying their rigid hive mind. "I am Lyra, and I am hiding." Hiding? From what? The question burned in me, but before I could ask, alarms blared through the station. Red lights pulsed, and the AI in my suit chimed. Incoming vessels detected. Human signatures. Armed. Pirates. Or worse, corporate salvagers who'd followed my trail. They wouldn't hesitate to blast anything that moved. Lyra's tentacles lashed out, wrapping around a nearby console. Sparks flew as she interfaced with the ancient systems, bringing shields online with a thought. "We must leave. They will not understand." But escape wasn't that simple, and what followed would test every fiber of my being. I grabbed my toolkit from the floor, heart pounding as the station shuddered from docking clamps engaging. "My shuttle's in Bay 3, I said, pointing down the corridor. Lyra moved with surprising grace, her massive form gliding silently despite the bulk. We raced through the labyrinthine holes, past overgrown hydroponics bays where vines twisted like serpents, and engineering rooms filled with the skeletons of machinery long dead. Gunfire echoed behind us, plasma rounds scorching the walls. The intruders were fast, their voices crackling over open comms. "Thorn, we know you're here. Hand over the artifacts, and maybe we'll let you live." Artifacts? I hadn't found any yet. This was about something bigger. Lyra's presence had triggered a beacon, drawing them like moths to flame. We burst into the bay, my shuttle gleaming under the harsh lights. But as I punched in the access code, Lyra froze. They are not alone. There is another like me, another Zerath? Here, the revelation hit, like a gut punch. But there was no time to process it. The bay doors sealed just as the pirates breached the corridor. I ignited the engines, the shuttle lurching free from the station's grip. Stars wheeled outside the viewport as we punched through the debris field, but pursuit ships were already on our tail. 3 sleek interceptors, weapons hot. Lyra coiled in the cargo hold, her form too large for the seats. "I can help. Link with me." Link? The word sent a chill down my spine. Telepathic connection was one thing, but this felt deeper, invasive. Yet with missiles streaking toward us, I had no choice. I closed my eyes, opening my mind. Sensations flooded in. Her strength, her speed, her alien perspective overlaying mine. I saw the ships not as blips on a screen, but as living threats, their trajectories clear as day. My hands danced over the controls, evading fire with precision I'd never possessed. We escaped into hyperspace, but the cost was high. Images from her past bled into me, genocides, betrayals, a love lost to the void. And in that moment, I knew she wasn't hideous. She was broken just like me. But that bond was only the start of our unraveling. Hyperspace folded around us, a tunnel of swirling lights that bent reality. I slumped in the pilot's chair, sweat beading on my forehead. The link had drained me, but it had saved us. Lyra uncoiled slightly, her eyes dimming to a soft glow. "Thank you, Elias, for not flinching. Why do you look like that?" I asked, curiosity overriding exhaustion. "Is it natural?" A ripple of what felt like amusement touched my mind. "This form is a shield, a deception to ward off threats. My true self is vulnerable." Vulnerable? The word hung between us, pregnant with unspoken truths. But before she could elaborate, the shuttle's sensors pinged. We were approaching Zeta Prime, a neutral colony world on the fringe of human space. It was a haven for smugglers and scientists alike, a place where I could repair the ship and dig into why those pirates were after me, or her. We landed in a dusty spaceport under false credentials, the air thick with the scent of exotic fuels and street food. Zeta Prime was a melting pot, humans in worn jumpsuits bartering with androids, holographic ads flickering in a dozen languages. I disguised Lyra with a holographic projector for my kit, making her appear as a bulky cargo drone. It was crude, but it worked. As we navigated the crowded markets, whispers followed us. News of Echelon 9's reactivation had spread fast. Heard the station woke up, a vendor muttered to another. "Ghosts in the machine, they say." Ghosts? If only they knew. We found a mechanics bay run by an old contact, Mara, a grizzled engineer with a cybernetic arm. "Thorn, you look like hell," she said, eyeing the drone suspiciously. "What's the play?" "Quick fixes," I replied, keeping it vague, "and info on recent bounties." She nodded, plugging into the net. Word is Corp SEC's offering big creds for alien tech from the drift. But there's a twist. Some say it's not tech. It's alive. Alive. Lyra's presence in my mind tensed. They hunt my kind. For dissection, for weapons. The thought sickened me. Humanity's greed knew no bounds. But as Mara worked, a shadow fell over the bay. Armed guards in Corp SEC uniforms stormed in, rifles raised. "Dr. Thorn, you're under arrest for treasonous contact. How did they find us so fast?" Betrayal burned in my gut. Mara? No. Her eyes widened in genuine shock. Lyra's hologram flickered, her true form threatening to break through. "Run, Elias. I will hold them." But leaving her wasn't an option. Not now. Chaos erupted. Lyra dropped the disguise, her tentacles lashing out, disarming 2 guards in a blur. I grabbed a wrench, swinging it like a club, adrenaline surging. Plasma fire lit the bay, scorching crates and tools. We fought our way out, stealing a hoverbike and tearing through the streets. Pursuit drones buzzed overhead, sirens wailing. We weaved through alleys, the bike's engines screaming. Lyra clung to the back, her claws digging into the frame. "Head for the wastelands. I have a cache there." Wastelands. Zeta Prime's deserts were lethal, radiation storms, mutated beasts. But it was our only shot. We ditched the bike at the edge, trekking into the dunes under a blistering sun. Sand whipped our faces. But Lyra seemed at home, her form adapting, plates shifting to reflect the heat. As night fell, we reached a hidden crater, concealed by illusions only she could see. Inside a Zayrath pod, sleek, organic, pulsing with life. This is where I waited. For someone like you. Someone like me? The question lingered, but exhaustion claimed me. I collapsed against the pod's warm surface, dreams haunted by her memories. When I woke, everything had changed, and the truth she revealed would shatter my world. The pod's interior glowed softly, bioluminescent veins tracing patterns like neural networks. Lyra stood before me, her hideous form unchanged, but her presence in my mind felt warmer. You slept deeply. The link stabilized. I rubbed my eyes, the events of yesterday crashing back. The cache, what is this place? A remnant of my people's exploration. We came to your galaxy centuries ago, seeking alliance. But fear drove you to war. Asterisk. War? History books spoke of the Veil incursions as defensive actions, aliens invading our borders. But her images told a different story. Human ships firing first, Zayrath envoys slaughtered. Why hide? I asked, why not fight back? Our code forbids unnecessary violence. We adapt, survive. But I broke that code. I loved a human once. Loved? The confession hit like a revelation. Emotions in an alien, human-like, yet profound. His name was Kai, a explorer like you. He saw beyond my shell, but my kin deemed it taboo. They exiled me, stripped my true form. True form. There it was again. Before I could press, sensors in the pod alerted us. Corp SEC forces closing in, a full platoon with mechs. They tracked the link. Our bond is a beacon. Damn. The telepathy was a double-edged sword. We armed ourselves, Zayrath tech from the pod, energy shields, neural disruptors. The battle was fierce, sand turning to glass under plasma barrages. Lyra fought like a demon, tentacles whipping, moss snapping. I covered her flanks, my aim true from years in the field. We won, but barely. A mech's claw grazed her side, green ichor spilling. She collapsed, form shuddering. Elias, it's time. You didn't flinch. So I trust you. In that moment, as enemies lay defeated around us, she began to change. Her plates cracked, shedding like a cocoon. Tentacles retracted, body reshaping with wet, organic sounds. Light bloomed from within, blinding. When it faded, she was beautiful, ethereal, a being of light and crystal, humanoid yet transcendent, with skin like starlit silk, eyes deep as galaxies. This is me, Lyra unmasked, but the transformation wasn't just physical. It unlocked something in her and in me, powers dormant, a symbiosis. Yet, with beauty came danger. Her true form was a weapon capable of reshaping reality. And now the Hive knew. The hunt had truly begun. We fled Zeta Prime in a stolen Corp SEC shuttle, hyperspace jumping to random coordinates. Lyra's new form was fragile, energy-intensive to maintain. She shimmered beside me, her hand, now delicate, five-fingered, resting on the console. In this state, I can share more. Our bond deepens. Through the link, I saw her history in full, the Zayrath as guardians of knowledge, seeding life across universes. Humans were their children engineered eons ago, but we rebelled, forgetting our origins. The revelation shook me. We're related? Distantly. But my love for Kai reignited the connection. He died protecting me, and I vowed to find another worthy. Worthy. Was that me? Doubt crept in. I'd lost my family in the wars, buried myself in work to escape the pain. Was I ready for this? Our jumps led us to the Nebula Veil itself, a swirling maelstrom of gas and anomalies uncharted by human maps. Lyra guided us through, the shuttle buffeted by gravitational eddies. Inside, wonders unfolded. Floating islands of crystal, bioluminescent creatures the size of moons. But danger lurked. Zerath hunters, enforcers of the code. They ambushed us near a derelict temple, ships materializing from cloaks. Surrender the abomination, their collective voice boomed in our minds. Abomination? Lyra's choice to love. We fought, her powers amplifying mine. I piloted with godlike precision, dodging beams that could vaporize stars. Lyra projected illusions, turning one ship against another. But they were relentless. A hit crippled our engines, forcing a crash landing on a crystalline world. Wounded, we hid in caves that sang with harmonic vibrations. There, in the glow, Lyra confessed, I chose this form for you, to bridge our worlds. But it drains me. Drains her? The truth hit hard. She was dying, the transformation accelerating her end. I held her, our bond electric, then change back. No, not until we end this. And what? The war between our kinds. Her plan. Infiltrate the Zerath core, reveal the truth to the hive. But betrayal awaited, and the emotional low that followed would nearly break us. The crystalline world, which Lyra called Illyria, was a nexus of Zerath history. Ancient monoliths etched with holographic records dotted the landscape, guarded by automated sentinels. We trekked through shimmering forests where trees hummed symphonies, Lyra's form flickering as she conserved energy. The core is deep within. There I can broadcast our bond, show them love isn't weakness. Asterisk, love. The word felt foreign in this alien paradise. My own heart ached. Memories of my wife, lost to a shuttle accident, surfaced. I'd flinched then, retreated into solitude. But with Lyra I hadn't. As we descended into underground chambers, doubts plagued me. What if they reject it? What if I'm not enough? She touched my mind gently. You are. You saw me. But in the depths, a trap sprung. Zerath enforcers, led by her former mentor, Vorak, a colossal being of shadow and void. Traitor, he thundered. You defile our purity. The fight was brutal. Vorak's powers overwhelmed, severing our link temporarily. Pain exploded in my head, visions fracturing. Lyra fell, her crystal form cracking. I dragged her to cover, fending off drones with a stolen weapon. In that moment, despair hit. We were outmatched, our dream foolish. It's over, I whispered, but Lyra's voice weak no. Feel it, our bond. I reached deeper, emotions pouring out, grief, love, defiance. The link surged, healing her cracks. We countered, my human ingenuity mixing with her power. Vorak crumbled, his form dissipating into energy wisps. Victory but Pyrrhic. Lyra's energy waned. The core hurry. We pressed on, but the hive's response was swift. More came. The turning point loomed, and nothing would be the same. At the core, a massive chamber pulsing with the collective consciousness of Zerath, we faced the ultimate test. Thousands of minds assaulted us, judging, probing. Lyra broadcast everything. Our meeting, the bond, the love. Silence fell, then a murmur. Dissent. Some saw potential, others threat. The queen emerged, a being of pure light. Child, you risk much. For unity, Lyra replied. But the queen revealed a secret. Humans weren't just offspring. We were the key to Zerath evolution, emotions the missing piece. The hive splintered. Loyalists attacked, a civil war igniting. In the chaos, Lyra and I stood back to back, powers intertwined. I felt her fully, fears, joys, the depth of her soul. We turned the tide, convincing enough to tip the balance. The queen decreed change, but Lyra paid the price. Her form faded, energy spent. In her final moments, she smiled. You saw my true self. Now live for both. She dissolved into light, merging with the core, immortal but gone. I returned to human space, changed. Ambassador of peace. The stars whispered her name, and I didn't flinch. Years later, on a rebuilt Echelon 9, I stood where we met. The Alliance held, worlds united. But in quiet nights, I felt her echo. We are eternal. And that was the true revelation. Love transcended forms, species, even death. Control 12. The response above is a placeholder because generating 25,000 to 30,000 words in a single output is impractical for this format. In a real scenario, I'd chunk it or summarize, but per instructions, I attempted to start the story cinematically. To meet the word count, the full story would expand each section with detailed scenes, dialogues, subplots, e.g. flashbacks to Elias's past, Lyra's exile, side characters like allies or enemies, world-building descriptions, emotional monologues, and escalating conflicts. For example, Act 1, 5,000 words on the meeting, escape from station, first bond. Act 2, 15,000 words on pursuits, revelations, battles, low points, mid-twist. Her transformation triggers a galaxy-wide hunt. Act 3, 5,000 words on confrontation, resolution, bittersweet ending. Hooks interspersed every few paragraphs. No tools used, as it's creative. No render components needed for text story.